Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun.
So how you doing? So today, I'm going to use the chainsaw mill for the very first time. I'm using the Neotech chainsaw mill. I won this free. Well, basically I won it in a contest at SawFest because I placed in one of the classes. So we're going to use it for the first time today. It is a 24-inch mill, and you know, I'm learning things step by step here. There's a lot of stuff that you don't realize you got to do, you know, whenever you get into it. In fact, there weren't even instructions on all of this, so I had to kind of figure it out. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. There's things you don't realize when you get started in this, and I haven't even made the first cut yet. Alrighty, so it's a Holtzforma 372 clone, 24-inch bar. But as you can see, you don't actually get to use 24 inches of the bar. Probably closer to 16 or 18. I'd say 18 inches. So you got to be prepared for that with your wood. You know what I mean? I have another mill. I have a 36-inch version. But I figured for my first time, I'll get set up with this one. The instructions weren't too bad putting it together. They were pretty simple. There ain't a whole lot to it, you know what I mean? But some of the things you don't realize is, you know, the things you need other than the mill with the saw. Like you need a second saw. You got to be able to cut your board or your log to length, cut your knots off, stuff like that. So you have to have a second saw on hand. Now, if you want to do dimensional lumber, like you want to start with a nice square log and then slice everything to the right size, you need a square to get that going. These guys here, there were no instructions for this. So I had to kind of figure these guys out. So these go in tandem with the 2x4 to make your first rail going down through to, you know, to get your first cut off of there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This log here, actually, not all of this wood here, I don't plan on making dimensional lumber. I'm just going to slice her down. So I will deal with that stuff later in more of the finishing process. So this will be more like live edge type of sawmilling. So basically all I got to worry about really is the first cut. But I brought the square along just to show you that you need it. Because once you get the first edge, you have to square off of that edge when setting up for the second edge. You know what I mean? So at least you know you need a square. You're going to need some shims just to keep it from pitching your chain as you go. You need a tape measure. And I got 2 drills here because you got to drill holes for this bolt. So you got to be prepared for that. And if you end up with a log that's shorter than what you made on a 2x4 or whatever, you got to drill new holes in order to make it shorter. You know what I mean? So these are 10-foot 2x4s. Whenever I get it set up for this first log, if I end up with a shorter log, like this white guy over here, I'd have to drill new holes in the 2x4 in order to make it shorter. So you need a drill. And this is an impact driver, and I'm using it because these holes here, so this guy actually screws in to here, like so, to put your rail on. So it'll be easier with this, because I got a bolt in it. Yeah, you put it in like this, and that bolt sticking up, that's what you bolt through the 2x4. But this is what I've already discovered that you need. On top of all that, you know, make sure you have your scratch on hand, but carry yourself a 1/2-inch wrench for this mill, at least. Just about all the nuts on there. Well, all the nuts. Every nut on there is 1/2 inch. So make sure you got a 1/2-inch wrench on you. Alrighty, that's how you adjust the height and how thick you cut the piece. So let me work at getting this set up, and it should make more sense here. Alrighty, so first I thought we could turn the 2x4s up on end. No, not gonna happen. The bolt isn't long enough to go through the length of the 2x4. So they gotta be laying this way. Another hurdle is the bolt sticking up. As the mill comes across here, it's gonna hit this. Now the first, see the bars here? So they gotta get past that. The first one will be easy, I can just lift it over. But once I'm through the cut, I'm gonna hit this. So I think what I'm gonna do is grab a hacksaw, cut these guys off a little more flush, see if that works. See if I can just get it to pop up and over that, just that little bit. But there's a chance they have to be countersink, flush. But let me find out here. I'm gonna get a hacksaw and cut that off. I'll just cut it just a little proud of the nut there, and we'll go with that. Now I was hoping I could turn these boards on end, but yeah, that wasn't gonna work. But let me get these cut off and see about getting this first cut in.
Geez, that looks so good you can literally just replace the boards. that we lost during the fire. Oh, that's like really nice. You should make me a table like that. I like that. Put it all together. Be so rustic looking.
Yeah. It's more about getting the equipment. Once I got that first cut done, got to figure out how to do it. It's going to be a lot easier.
I like that.
How much lumber am I going to have till I'm done through this?
I don't know. Well, we got a lot. Is that ours too? That's sitting out there?
That's firewood. This is what you're standing on here is going to be lumber.
This stuff is going to be lumber?
That big one there. And then there's another big one back in the back.
Okay.
This is what we're going to do all the wood in the house.
It's really nice.
All the wood in the house is going to be doing that. And I'm going to do our counters with that.
Yeah.
So the countertops are basically going to be one big, like, gigantic cutting board.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be made out of.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I like that. I didn't have a good mental vision of it, and seeing this, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Does a good job.
Yeah, it does.
And I have a planer, so I can make it nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Ain't she pretty? There's some sort of a satisfaction to doing this stuff yourself, if you know what I mean. Yeah, she's a working.
Well, you know, I'm about halfway or so through my second log now, and it's definitely easier the second time. And I imagine I'll get better at it, you know. I'll figure out the little things to make it easier. I can already tell you the first thing that I would do is get something in here to get the logs up a little higher. I do that and it'll really make it a lot easier. Which I have a plan there. Already got the machine located and we got a deal made, but you know, he's not in a hurry to get the money for it and I got to put the money together for it. So we're one step closer. It's a tractor with a front load bucket, four-wheel drive, got forks for it and everything. So yeah, hopefully we'll have that here in the next couple of months. But in the meantime, I'm playing around with some wood. You see her down there? Just working off the ground is what sucks the most, you know?
Getting her done with the old 372 clone. That's actually the one the bellhopper built. I know a lot of you guys are like, you know, you shouldn't be using a ported saw doing this. So the one I wanted to use, I tried to start it today and it wouldn't start. It's not ported. So I just did what I had to do. So I've got to be careful. I got her tuned up pretty good and rich. And I threw an extra ounce of oil in the gas. So, you know, just a little bit of extra there won't hurt nothing. And hey, it's getting the job done.
So the poplar, you know, she does pretty good with it. I can make pretty much the whole cut without stopping. But this one here that I'm on is a much harder wood. So I'm stopping probably 3 or 4 times throughout the length of it and just giving it a minute to, you know, to breathe, cool off a little bit before I continue. So, you know, just trying to be smart about it as best I can. But yeah, we're getting her done. First time using the chainsaw mill. That is the Neotech chainsaw mill that I won at Sawfest. And we're out here using it and getting her done. Alrighty, so hey, hope you enjoyed this one. Later.